So it is the same lesson, class 8 students. The Christmas trees and rain. It has fallen almost daily. Of course, it collects right in our trenches, where we must bail it out with pots and pans, whatever they have. With that, they have to throw the water out of the trenches. That is their condition. And with it, the rain has come mud, a good foot or more deep. It splatters and cakes everything and constantly sucks at our boots. One new recruit got his feet stuck in it and then his hands too when he tried to get out. So that is the situation in the trenches. Due to that regular rain, it became muddy and their boots and feet got caked there by the mud there. And one newly appointed soldier, his feet got stuck there, and while trying to uh, get those feet out, his hands also got stuck there. So this is the condition of the trances. And now let us move on to the next slide to see what is there. Here it is. Through all this, we couldn't help feeling curious about the German soldiers across the way. After all, they faced the same dangers we did and slogged about in the same muck. What's more, their first trance was only 50 years from ours. Between us lay no man's land, bordered on both sides by barbed wire. Yet they were close enough. We sometimes heard their voices. Now, uh, they had to think about the German soldiers also, and why they had to feel about the German soldiers? Because the German soldiers also faced the same problems as they did, and the same mud they had to actually face. And what's more, their first trance was only 50 years from theirs. Their that what it is, their first trance was only 50 years from theirs, and between them there was that no man's land where no one was seen, no one went, bothered on both sides by barbed wire. Barbed wire, the steel wire uh, that is used as fence or borders. On both sides, there were barbed wire, yet they were close enough we sometimes heard their voices. Though there were barbed wires on the borders on both sides, yet their voices they could hear sometimes. Of course, we hated them when they killed our friends, but other times we joked about them and almost felt we had something in common. Now, there was enmity, there was hatred for the Germans when they killed. That was quite obvious. When our friend will be killed by someone, we are not going to love that person, love that enemy. And here also the same thing happened. But while someone was killed by them, then only they felt that hatred. But at other times, they joked about them and almost felt we had something in common. And they felt like there was something common in both sides, soldiers. And now it seems they felt the same. And now it seemed as if the Germans also felt the same way, that they were alike. Just yesterday morning, Christmas Eve day, we had our first good freeze. That means cold. It was very chilly night. It was very cold. So cold as we were, we welcomed it. In what situation they were, condition they were, in that they welcomed it because at least the mud froze solid. Why they welcomed it? Because the mud froze solid, Everything was tinged white with frost. So everything was colored white with frost, while a bright sun shone over all. Perfect Christmas weather. Now, bright sunshine fell on and those white things, and it was perfect Christmas weather. So this much is there in this present in this slide. Let us move on to the next to see what is there. Here it is. During the day there was little sailing or rifle fire from either side, and as darkness fell on our Christmas Eve, the shooting stopped entirely. Our first complete silence in months. We hoped it might promise a peaceful holiday, but we didn't count on it. We had been told the Germans might attack and try to catch us off guard. Now, during the daytime, there was some sailing and or rifle fire from both sides, but when it became dark, all firing had stopped, and they were hoping for a peaceful holiday. But they remained cautious due to an order that they had to keep themselves alert, and so that the Germans might not attack them and find them, catch them off guard. So I went to the dugout to rest, and lying on my cot, I must have drifted asleep. All at once, my friend John was shaking me awake, saying, "Come and see what the Germans are doing." So I grabbed my rifle, stumbled out into the trance, and stuck my head cautiously above the sandbags. No sandbags were there. Now he was told when he was almost going to sleep. Then he was shaken. His body was shaken, and he was woken up. And the John was telling him to see what was happening outside. So he came cautiously and saw something there. What it was, we are going to know. I never hoped to see a stranger and more lovely sight. Clusters of tiny lights were shining all along the German line, left and right as far as the eye could see. So this is what he could see, that clusters of tiny lights were shining all along German line, left and right as far as the eye could see. "What is it?" I asked in bewilderment, and John answered, "Christmas trees." That means he could see the Christmas trees. And so it was. The Germans had placed Christmas trees in front of their trenches, lit by candle or lantern like beacons of goodwill. Now they had actually placed Christmas trees in front of their trenches, and it was lit by candle or lantern like beacons, lights of goodwill. So this was it. This is what the Germans did, and this much is there in this presentation. We'll come up with new things the rest of the lesson in the next presentations. Till that time, I would like to say bye. Thank you.